this is not nice. How will you get a job without even knowing the location or the name of the company? In today's video, guys, I'll be sharing the latest immigration border questions that held somebody at the border for almost 6 hours. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fajira. If you're joining me for the very first time, I'm so happy to have you all in our beautiful family. For my returning subscribers, thank you very much for always coming back to watch my videos. I really do appreciate. God bless you. If you're new to this channel, I create content on how you can migrate to the UK, jobs with visa sponsorship in the UK, UK immigration update, live in the UK, like everything you can think about the UK. So if you're someone who is interested in such content, do hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so each time I upload a new video, you're definitely going to be the very first person to see that video. So guys, let's quickly dive right into today's video. Like you all know that I've been sharing a lot of questions that the UK immigration usually asks new migrants coming to the UK on arrival. And one of the things I do is to gather this information from new migrants, those who have currently arrived, or those that were deported that contacted me to tell me their story. Now, I just want to say thank you to everyone who have been sharing their questions with me. To be honest, it has helped a lot of people who are planning to move to the UK, and also people who had successfully arrived in the UK. So I just want to say a massive thank you for that. And if you're planning to move to the UK, or you have just arrived in the UK and you're being asked any questions, please do feel free to DM me so I can use that in my future video to help other people. So in today's video, as earlier mentioned, there's a question that was asked by the immigration officers at the border, and the person who they asked this question, who is a new migrant, was not able to answer this question, and this made her to stay at the airport for hours. She personally told me that it was like she didn't really know what she was doing. Everything around her was just filled with panicking, even if the people that were questioning her were not like really hard on her. But I think she lost everything she was supposed to answer. Not that she didn't know them, but immediately those questions came, I think fear came into her and she lost it. Recently, one of my subscribers moved to the UK, and when she got to the border, she had already prepared for all the questions that they may most likely ask her from my videos and all of that. She said she lost everything. She lost her memory. She lost like everything. She got to the point of entry, and unfortunately for her, she forgot to print her certificate of sponsorship. She only submitted it online, but she didn't have a copy with her. So they've asked her other questions that she has answered. But this lady, her company is in Scotland and she arrived in England. So more questions were asked because they can see from the system to know exactly where she was going to. But now she's arriving in England, and she arrived in England because she has a family in Birmingham. From what she told me, she wanted to stay with the family for a week before moving to Scotland. But you know, like I said, her company is in Scotland and she's arriving in England. So the question is, what is the name of your company? She was asked that question and she said she completely went blank at the point she was asked that question. I understand that sometimes people can go blank with certain things, especially when they are panicking. But questions like, when she told me that, I was like, how would you tell me that you can't remember a company that you actually applied for a job for? You went for an interview, you were given your offer later, you must have told your friends and families that you're going to work in this organization in this country. How will you just forget? And she was like, Fajra, you won't understand. Like, she didn't know what happened to her. That simple question kept her at the airport for a longer time. The immigration officers asking these questions, they're asking it not because that they don't know the name of the company. They're asking it because they want to know the level at which you're prepared. And secondly, if your company is in Scotland, nobody is restricting you from arriving in England. Like I said, most of them are psychologists. Looking at the system, this person has got this company in Scotland and this person is arriving in England. In my opinion, like, I think that question was not asked to investigate, but just to like be sure that this lady knows where she's going to, so she doesn't get stranded in the UK. So they asked her, yeah, you've got a job, can you tell us the name of the company? And she said she couldn't remember. Like, for hours they had to take her to a private room for her to sit down to find out the name of the company she has gotten this job with, and she could not remember. And next thing, do you know the address of the company? So they had to investigate further to ask her about how she got her job. And she told them she actually applied for the job. It was advertised. She was invited for an interview. She went for the interview. She passed the interview, and she was given an offer letter and also the COS, and she went for a visa. And the other questions that followed, if you actually went through this process, according to what she told me, was how did she get the job? And she told them she got it through an agent. Bear in mind that the country that this lady is coming from is not the country on the red list. So just imagining what would have happened if this lady was actually coming from a country on the red list. The country she was coming from is not a country on the amber or the red list, is on the green list. Because active recruitment can take place in those countries. I'm sure that even if they want to investigate more, they will understand that some of those people in those countries have got these jobs through agents and they can't really remember. And to her, she said she went to a recruitment agent in her country and she submitted every document and everything, and next day they invited her for an interview. She went for the interview, she got the job, she applied for her visa, but she didn't really apply for this visa herself. The recruitment agent actually did everything for her. She was able to get her visa, and on arrival, this question has been asked. What actually saved her when she told her story was because the country she's coming from, that active recruitment can take place. So they are not against a third-party recruitment, unlike some countries on the red list. But like I said, I'm sharing this video because maybe you may be in the red list country and maybe you still get a job through any means to move to the UK. Please try and make sure you know the company you're getting the job with. So they now took her to a room, from what she told me, and asked her if she can remember her password and everything and so on, for her to log in her email to know the company and the address of the company she's going through, so they can contact the company that has given her the COS. And for her, she couldn't even log in because she's not somebody who is a computer literate. So she said she got all the information on WhatsApp from the recruitment agents that did the visa and everything for her. So they asked her to switch on her phone and search through her chats to see the name of the company that has employed her. And unfortunately for her, her phone was dead. They gave her a charger to charge it at the airport. You can imagine they have enough time. So if you're coming from the red list countries, like, you really need to be prepared because they can go this far to find out some certain things from you. So when her phone got charged, she was able to see the COS in her chat with the recruitment agency. So she now checked it and told them. They said to her that if you have gotten a job in this country and from this company, you should be able to know the name of the company you have gotten the job and also the address, possibly the phone number of the company you've gotten this job from. So now they had to get on the phone to call this company when she actually showed them. They have it on their system, but they just wanted to know how prepared she was. They had to call the company to find out if they are aware that their employee is coming to the UK. And fortunately for the manager or whoever picked the call, checked through the system and found out that they are aware that she was going to be arriving in the UK on that day. Now, one thing I want you to note is, when you're preparing to move to the UK, let your organization know that you're coming. Because if she wasn't in close contact with the organization, or maybe the agent that did her recruitment process for her was not in close contact with the organization that she actually got the job from, at the point they called the company, I'm sure they were like, we are not sure, and that will lead to another time being wasted at the airport. So when they called the company, and the company picked up like, yeah, we are aware of this person, she's supposed to be in the UK, blah blah blah, they were like, okay, that's fine. Now, one thing I want you to take out of this video is, in preparation of you moving to work and stay in the UK, you need to prepare very well. If you have gotten your job from any organization, maybe through a third party, you're not really sure of the company you've gotten the job with, I would say keep your COS in front of you, master it, read through it, contact the company when you are about to leave your organization, or maybe the agents that actually did the process for you. Let the agent know that you're leaving your country on so day. The agent can pass the information to the employer. So in case of any of this kind of questions and answers, and they get on the phone to contact the employer is aware that you're coming. I can't even imagine how somebody will get a job and not remember the name of the company that actually gave him or her that job. You are excited when you got your COS, so that's enough to make you even master the name of the company. Not you getting to the point of entry and you get asked what is the name of the company and you completely go blank. I know that in some cases some people are kind of panicking especially going into a country that you've never been to before. Maybe you must have watched some of the videos we upload about questions that they get asked, and you just get scared of maybe the first question, and once you get scared of answering the first question, trust me, you'll be making a lot of mistakes. So now they now ask this lady, okay, you're going to Scotland. For what we have seen, we've contacted your company and everything. How come you're in England? You didn't take a flight direct to Scotland? On that note, she was able to explain that she have a family in Birmingham and she wanted to like get to Birmingham, settle in for a week, then book her flight to Scotland and resume her work. So at that point, she was allowed to leave. And like I said, that process was kind of easy. She wasn't deported because, one, she's not from a country that is on the red list. So if she was from a country that is on the red list and gets to that point of entry and say, oh, I got my job through a third party, that's a red flag on its own. And maybe that may warrant more questions, and at the end of the day, it may not end the way her own has ended. Has ended that way because the country she came from is a country that a third party recruitment can take place. So even if you get on the phone to call them, they are aware, the government is aware, there's a government agreement with that country to be able to recruit through a third party. So guys, please, if you're coming, even if you're from the red list, amber list, green list, any which way, if you're planning to move to the UK on the skilled worker visa, or maybe as a student, they could even ask you about your CAS. I remember when I came in about 13 years ago at the airport, one of the questions they asked me was, can we see your CAS? And I had to give them my CAS. Do you know where you're going to? I answered, what is the postcode? I told them. So even if you're coming as a student or you're coming on the skilled worker visa, just be prepared with every document you think you may have need for. And while you're on the plane, you can just go through your COS and master some things there, just in case you get asked. You already know. I know some people do not really have that good memory, but remember, you're coming to a country that you haven't been before. You've gotten a job, everything. Like right now, the UK immigration is putting their eyes on everywhere. For you that is planning to move to the UK as a skilled worker or maybe a student, make sure you're well prepared. So in case of anything, you already know what you're doing. Because if you go to a country that it looks like you don't know what you're doing from the start, it may warrant more questions, which was what happened to her. And to her, she was like, her English was not even really too good. And they were asking her, how did you pass your English language proficiency, your IELTS? How did you do it? And she told them. So the case is kind of a bit, it was kind of complicated. But like I said, what actually saved her was because she's coming from a country that third-party recruitment can take place. So if you're watching me from any of the countries that is on the red list or maybe amber list, please try and do your homework very well. Make sure you have all the required documents, your tuberculosis, your police clearance, your COS, your CV. Like, don't leave anything, don't overlook anything. In fact, if you've got some care certificate, put it together and just have it in your hand luggage or maybe in your handbag. So just in case you get there and you get asked any of those questions, it will be easy for you to just answer it with confidence. And another thing I want you to know is that don't be panicked when you are asked some certain questions. Just be calm. If you don't understand what they are saying, say, please, can you repeat that again? Because it's allowed. You can't answer a question when you don't know what was asked. So it is very important that each time you're asked of anything that you don't understand, or maybe if you need to have a clearer understanding, you ask them, please, can you say that again? Because I don't understand what you're asking. Don't be shy, because at the point you get the question wrong, that is when the whole investigation is going to kick in, and that's not what you want as a new migrant. And if you're coming as a couple, don't forget your marriage certificate. A lot of people have been asking, Fajira, if I'm the one coming first and my husband will come second, who should come with the marriage certificate? If you are the one that is coming first, leave the marriage certificate for the dependent who is going to come after you to come with. Because you coming first, they may not ask you about the marriage certificate, but when the dependent is coming, just for them to establish that this person is actually married and tied to this person, they may ask the dependent. So if you're the one traveling first, leave the original certificate for whoever is coming second. It's going to be difficult for whoever is coming as a dependent, just in case he or she is asked at the airport. At least they have it. Not to say my marriage certificate is already with my partner in the UK. So guys, we've actually come to the end of this video, and I hope you find this video helpful. And if you do hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and also do share this video to your friends and loved ones. It may help somebody. Until I see you in my next video, guys, do take care and have a lovely day. Bye bye for now.